Hi everyone, David Nickel here, Earth Astrology. These are my thoughts about the astrology of this monthly cycle, the new moon and Taurus cycle from May 8th to June 6th. The big picture is this is a really pretty extraordinary month, astrologically speaking. I don't know if I've seen a month that I'm looking forward to as much as this one. And it's a relief in a way to be able to be saying this because I feel like so many times over the last few years, I've been saying, whoa, we're in really intense times. This is a really intense transit. This is really, really challenging. Hold on. And so it's nice to be able to be in this phase where there is some blessed relief here. And I hope I can do it justice um, and without overplaying it, but this is really pretty special. Um, so the big picture is the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that we had last month on April 20th, which is one of the biggest transits of the year, probably the biggest transit of the year, which represented this huge opportunity for breakthrough once every 14 years. It is met, the Jupiter-Uranus is met by the more personal planets, Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury. They all, one by one, pass through in connection with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. What this does is it makes that breakthrough energy, all those opportunities land in a more personal way. There's a big collective energy of breakthrough last month. And this month, it's like we will feel the fruits of that opening in a much more direct personal way. And it's so many sweet energies that are here this month. So it's really quite a gift from the universe. So the first part of the cycle, there's a big stellium of planets in Taurus. The Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is in Taurus. It's still there. We'll look at the chart in a moment. But Sun, Moon, Venus, and then Mercury, as I said, will move through in Taurus. And so the first part of the month with Taurus, there's a very big healing here, a medicine around calming down, where we have the chance to feel really good, in the body, to feel secure and solid and held. And it feels like this is really deep medicine for our times, given how much we've been going through. And then in the latter part of the cycle, the Sun and then Jupiter and Mercury move into Gemini. And so it's like this sense of having relaxed and got to feel really good and calm and held, that out of that, there's this opportunity for really big, powerful, exciting ideas to come in, world-changing ideas potentially. And the energy will start to move more in an extroverted way, more outward, to share our ideas, to network, to socialize. But both of these both of these both of these energies, the Taurus and the Gemini one, um, are very healing and uplifting. So in this monthly cycle, all the planets except Pluto are still moving forward. So there's a lot of forward momentum. Since the end of January, we've had all the planets moving forward. So it's created this huge amount, a fast pace. I was talking about earlier as like being on a runway, gathering speed to potentially lift off with the Jupiter Uranus conjunction in April. And earlier in this month, in May, Pluto went retrograde. But all the other planets are moving forward. So there's still a lot of forward movement. And the other thing that is interesting about this cycle is that there's an extraordinary number of conjunctions between two planets where they meet in the sky. Conjunctions are represent the end of one cycle of time, the beginning of another. They're like a portal where there's a special opportunity to plant a new seed. The new moon each month, when the sun and the moon come together, is a portal. It's why we plant intentions at the start, at the new moon. And that is a cycle that just goes for 1 month. But some of these cycles are much longer. But in this cycle, there's 8 conjunctions, which is really a lot of new beginnings, a lot of opportunities for new starts, planting seeds of intention, entering into many windows of change. So we have Sun conjunct Uranus, Sun conjunct Jupiter, Venus conjunct Uranus, Mars conjunct the North Node, Venus conjunct Jupiter, Mercury conjunct Uranus, Mercury conjunct Jupiter, and Sun conjunct Venus. That's a lot of change, a lot of new energy coming in. And the nature of the conjunctions, the planets involved, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, Uranus, all in Taurus. I mean, it's a lot of sweet energy, a lot of blessing energy. So just to put this in a bit of context, when we had the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction last month, which was April 20th, it's once every 14 years, huge window of opportunity for some kind of breakthrough, some sort of unexpected, surprising opportunity. The thing is, almost immediately after that, we had a full moon squaring Pluto, which brings in square to Pluto is a certain intensity, a kind of energy of crisis, transformation, and may in some sense have occluded that liberating energy of Jupiter-Uranus to some degree. And then on May 3rd, Pluto moved retrograde. Whenever Pluto goes retrograde, it intensifies Plutonic themes. If you happen to remember back to that week around May 3rd, you might recall for many of us, it was a pretty intense week. Personally speaking, I had something come up that really deep stuff that I worked with in a session that a friend gave to me. And it was one of the most powerful, impactful sessions I've ever received, and things came to a certain head. And just as an aside, what this has led me to understand is whenever you have a Pluto transit, the best way to work with it is to do some kind of therapy, some kind of transformative process, because it's working you anyway. It's trying to bring something to the light of consciousness. If you have a container to do that work in, you feel great because it feels so good when you liberate those suppressed parts. If you don't have the container, you kind of just have to be stoic about it and just be with this intensity. It might come out sideways. So that's what I've come to understand about Pluto. But back to my main point, I was saying, so right after the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, we had a lot of Pluto energy in the mix. And what's going to be happening in this cycle is there's less Pluto influence in a challenging way, more Venus and Jupiter. Venus and Jupiter are known as the greater and lesser benefics of the zodiac. It's a kind of golden time that we're heading towards. And as I was saying, this time when in a more personal way, we'll come to experience the fruits of this liberating energy from Jupiter Uranus. Okay, so let's just talk for a bit about Taurus, given that's all these planets in Taurus, that's the dominant energy at the start of the cycle. So Taurus brings the medicine of relaxing, slowing down, of keeping things simple, not making things dramatic, not overcomplicating, not making things too psychological, of letting ourselves feel good, tending to the body's needs and desires, being close to the earth, really experiencing the beauty that life on earth has to offer. I like to give an example of dogs. If you have a dog, you know that they have pretty simple needs. If they get walked a couple of times a day, that you feed them, you pat them, and play with them a little bit, then they're good. Then for hours, they just go into bliss, completely content. It's the perfect metaphor for Taurus and the whole kind of teaching and mentality of Taurus. If we feed our body, if we give our instincts what they need without overcomplicating it, without second guessing it, then our body feels good and we relax and we feel content on a deep level. Often we have inherited some ideas that do overcomplicate that situation, or we question things, or we've inherited religious ideals or work Puritan ideals, and so we add a layer of complexity to it. But this is the time to let yourself indulge in feeling pleasure in the body, in experiencing beauty and feeling yourself to be loved by the universe. So Taurus in the northern hemisphere occurs at the time of the year when spring is at its height, when all the flowers are blooming. It's that perfect kind of weather, nature at its most beautiful, streams flowing, bees buzzing. And what I've been noticing just the last few days with all these planets in Taurus, and knowing that there's this sublime window that's opening, is just tracking the weather where I am in Mendocino. We've had a few absolutely gorgeous spring days, and it's like nature itself is showing, is expressing the vibration that's here with and what's unfolding in this monthly cycle. If you think about that feeling of when you're outside on one of those absolutely perfect spring days, not too hot, not too cold, blue sky, flowers blooming everywhere, the sort of lush kind of feeling. That's that's the vibration that is the medicine that's here for us. So, what is it like to how can we come into tune with that beauty, um, and let it work us, or perhaps I should say, let it relax us and inspire us. Okay, so let's look at the chart so we can look together at these transits. And I'm just going to briefly run through the highlights. So this is the chart for May 7th, when the new moon happened. Here we have the sun and the moon together in Taurus. And so you can see these planets in Taurus, the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which is still here. And you'll see sun, moon, Venus, Mercury will come into the picture. So one after the other, these personal planets, these personal energies of sun, moon, Venus, and Mercury will cross through this Jupiter-Uranus. Again, when they touch that, they're touching this revolutionary energy, this uplifting breakthrough energy that will make it personal. So the first one, Sun, hits Uranus, and we just move this forward. There we go. Sun-Uranus conjunction on May 13. So all these energies are all going to be sort of influencing each other, but the Sun-Uranus aspect particularly, Sun is our self, our who we are on a deepest level. And when it hits Uranus, there's opportunity for freedom, for breakthrough, for personal breakthrough, for contacting our brilliance, our genius, our unique genius with Uranus, the unique medicine that we have. So an awakening of our autonomy and uniqueness. And then Sun will move to catch up with Jupiter there a few days later. So on the 18th, Sun, Jupiter. And on the same day, actually, Venus and Uranus will be in a conjunction. So this is really a beautiful window. I mean, all of these energies will be acting together. With Sun, Jupiter, the specific opportunity is to access this higher perspective. Jupiter represents faith and optimism, an understanding of the benevolence of the universe. And in particular, it helps us to access the wisdom of seeing and understanding our situation from this higher perspective. So it can be a bit like when we access our higher self, our deepest self, the wisest part of ourself, it can reshape things, precisely because when we make this sort of dimensional shift and we see our situation from that higher dimension, all of the little details in our life are comprehended from this higher order, how it fits into the higher order. And that brings a different sense of meaning. And so this transit in particular is about coming into alignment with our higher self, which brings this sort of blueprint for the highest expression of who we are. So it's a time to think, like, where have you been underestimating yourself? Where have you been listening too much to some limiting self-talk, to really see yourself in your as you truly are, in your depths, the gifts that you really have, and to stand in them. So at the same time, the Venus-Uranus conjunction can bring this sense of exciting new possibilities in the realm of the heart. There might be new encounters, sudden encounters, new openings of the heart. Uranus is unconventional. It's unexpected. You can't really predict how it will go, but it tends to be exciting, fun, something new and different. Perhaps a new path of love towards the future. Okay, so we have Mars conjunct the North Node as well at that time. The North Node is our evolutionary endpoint, our purpose. Mars conjunct the North Node happens once every 2 years and brings a kind of awakening, a drive to reawaken drive to align with our evolutionary purpose. We may get a sense of how close or far away we feel from being aligned with our purpose, and it will activate that drive to do something about it. Okay, so then on the 21st, Sun moves into Gemini, and we go into that shift I was talking about, having had the blessings of this Taurus energy, this the pleasure, the security, the comfort, the rest, the relaxation. The energy starts to shift into Gemini is an air sign. It's more of a mental energy. It's an energy of it's more extroverted, social. It loves to exchange ideas. It works. It's a very curious, nimble kind of energy. So we'll start to feel that shift. Okay, so on May 23rd, we have a really phenomenal full moon in Sagittarius. Just bring that back a little here. So the moon at 2 degrees Sagittarius. Firstly, the full moon in Sagittarius brings a kind of adventurous spirit. Sagittarius is an energy that the fun-loving, freedom-loving energy that loves to expand its horizons, basically optimistic, full of sort of good cheer. So it's always a nice full moon anyway. And this month, the ruler of the full moons is Jupiter. And look what's happening here. It's an exact conjunction with Venus. So the greater and lesser benefics of the zodiac are joined. That they're very, very happy together there. And in an exact sextile, which is a harmonious connection with Neptune, which is also, Neptune is a visionary energy where really anything's possible. It's open to the infinite. And so this is an extremely expansive, spiritually uplifting, creative imagination at a huge activation, and just a really extraordinary format. Okay, so a little after this, Venus enters Gemini, May 24th, and then shortly after that, Jupiter comes in. So this is this shifting into the more Gemini energies, and Jupiter in Gemini is a big deal. It happens only once a year that Jupiter changes sign. So it's a whole new chapter. And one way to understand Jupiter changing signs like this is, you can think of the Jupiter cycle as 12 years around the zodiac, and it can symbolize, correlate with a whole creative cycle in any project that we're working on. So a couple of years ago, Jupiter moved into Aries, May 2022. And so that year was about just the seed of an idea coming in. You might think back to that time to think, what new idea came in for you? And you can think of the whole the 12 years following that as the development of that seed into a mature form in the world. So in May of 2023, Jupiter moved into Taurus. And so that year became about taking that seed and creating the foundations that could sustain the seed of that vision into a form that lasts. So that's been the project of the last year. And now with Jupiter in Gemini, it becomes, okay, we've got the seed of the idea, we've got the foundation. Now it's time to spread the word. Gemini is about the exchange of ideas. Now it's time to go viral. Now it's time to let it loose in the world. Big ideas, Jupiter in Gemini, expansive communication, uplifting, hopeful communication. And almost immediately after Jupiter moves into Gemini, it comes into a trine here. So May 30th, Jupiter is in a tight, exact trine with Pluto in Aquarius. So Pluto in Aquarius adds power to the ideas. The trine brings more of a harmonious connection between these energies. There's also still this sextile going on with Neptune. So sublime, powerful, big ideas can come through at this time, with expansive communication about world-changing ideas, or at least ideas with a social impact. That's Pluto in Aquarius. It will tend to want to move in that direction, humanitarian kind of ideas. But really exciting, expansive, uplifting ideas can come in around that time. And then on the 31st, so the next day, Mercury, the mind, communication, ideas, is in a conjunction with Uranus. So this kind of continues this theme. Like we've had this Taurian bath in pleasure at the start of the cycle, rest, relaxation, and then coming out with this explosion of really inspired ideas, with Mercury with Uranus, it's like revolutionary ideas, creative, original ideas that are added to the mix, brilliant downloads and insights that could come in. And, around this time, the Sun and Venus are very close together there in the sky. Sun-Venus conjunction on June 3rd, followed by Mercury-Jupiter conjunction. So Sun-Venus brings in the love. Mercury-Jupiter, again, expansive, confident ideas. Loving, inspired, beautiful, big ideas that can change the world. It's a pretty exciting recipe. Okay, so that's the big picture that I want to share with you. As I said, it's really a special opportunity in this month to be restored in a deep way. God knows we need it after what we've been through. It's a time where we can really connect with the beauty of life and get excited about where we're going. So I really hope you have a great month ahead and soak up this special opportunity. I'll see you the next time. Bye for now.